behind me, there's a rendering of our new dealership. It will be one of the biggest Porsche dealers in the entire west coast of the United States. Here's the best part. What is our DNA in the 911s? It's a manual. So I'm glad to let you know that the 911T and the 911 GT3 will be available still in manual transmission. Yeah. That's the way we like it. So I don't know if you guys are 911 GT3 enthusiasts, but it's going to be amazing. So we're looking forward to have these cars. Now let's talk about Cayenne. You're all familiar, the car's been around for quite a long time. So for this year, the Cayenne, we're going to have 3 additional hybrid models available. And guess what? It will be faster driving, faster charging station, and much quicker. Now, if you like Cayenne, there's a model called Cayenne GTS that's been around, but Porsche is bringing it back. And guess what we're doing? We took the V6 out, put the V8 back in there again, with the twin turbo engine, with almost 500 horsepower. So I don't know what you guys think, but I'm looking forward to owning a GTS. Now, let's talk about Panameras. We have 4 hybrid models that's coming out. Extended range, faster charging, and guess what? Can't go wrong with it. Panamera's been around. It's one of our 4-door luxury sedans that we love it. But let's talk about EV now. Electrification. Our Taycan has been around since 2020. That's when it was launched. Now, this year for 2025, we have a higher range, faster charger, much more faster car, and it's available. But here's the thing. If you like really fast, Porsche Cars is releasing a Taycan Turbo GT this year. 0 to 60, almost 1.9 seconds. I don't know if this is fast enough for you guys, but it sure is for me. So now, I have 2 cars here on my left and right. This is our new electric small SUV. And we have a Macan 4 available and the Macan Turbo. The Macan 4 has about over 300 range, and guess what? It has almost 400 horsepower. If that's not enough for you, guess what? We have a Macan Turbo that has a 630 horsepower. So I don't know, if you want to go down to the beach or up in the mountain go skiing, we got both models available for you. One with a surfboard, one with the skis. Thank you so much. We have Mr. Calvin Kim here available from the factory. He's our PR representative that will be answering any questions you have. Again, I want to thank each and every one of you for coming tonight. Without any further ado, are you ready? Are we ready? Should we do it? Ladies? Please come by. I'm going to open the doors. I'm going to enjoy it. Thanks for driving.
The all-electric Porsche Macan is now being launched. Its sharper proportions and Porsche design DNA give the new Macan a high-performance dominant look. We have a flat bonnet with pronounced wings, 2-part headlights with daytime running lights on top, and the main headlights with optional matrix LED technology below. A typical Porsche flyline, frameless doors, and a light strip with a 3D look in the rear. Porsche combines its design DNA with aerodynamics optimized for range. With its Porsche active aerodynamics, the new Macan is one of the most streamlined SUVs. We have fully variable cooling air flaps, a completely closed underbody, flow-optimized wheel designs, and an adaptive rear spoiler. This enables us to achieve our top drag coefficient of 0.25. It is 4.78 meters long, 1.94 meters wide, and 1.62 meters high. There's enough space in the front luggage compartment for the charging equipment or a travel bag. Inside, there's room for the whole family and the luggage, plus a towing capacity of up to 2 tons. The new Macan is the highest performing model in its segment, offering e-performance typical to Porsche, reproducible driving figures, high-performance fast charging, and a range suitable for long journeys. The turbo achieves up to 470 kilowatts and 1130 Newton-meters off-torque. It accelerates from 0 to 100 in 3.3 seconds and has a top speed of 260 kilometers per hour. The turbo has a range of up to 591 kilometers, with the range of the Macan 4 going up to 613 kilometers. A powerful battery and high charging capacity are decisive when traveling fast. We use a high-voltage battery with an energy content of 100 kilowatts per hour, 95% of which we can use. We can charge with up to 270 kilowatts at an 800-volt fast charging station. This allows us to charge the battery from 10 to 80% in around 21 minutes, and we can regenerate with up to 240 kilowatts while driving. We use powerful PSM motors on the front and rear axles that allow us to distribute the power variably between the front and the rear. We have rear axle steering with a steering angle of up to 5 degrees, a rear axle differential lock, adaptive air suspension, and damping control with 2-valve technology. This enables us to achieve a wide spectrum between sports car performance and traveling comfort. The new Macan is full of innovations. For the first time, we are offering a head-up display with augmented reality. On request, the passenger can now also have their own screen. The new generation of the infotainment system enables powerful connectivity functions. Speech commands and route planning are implemented with lightning speed. Apps from third-party providers can now also be downloaded via our App Center. It was important to us to have a low seat position and a good view of the 12.6-inch curved display. We developed the Macan with a sharp focus on the driving dynamics typical to Porsche and a precise steering experience. The all-electric version is a performance-oriented SUV with great everyday usability, high-quality equipment, and plenty of space.
I'm very excited to collaborate with Porsche to build my version of a two-car garage. It's a brand where I believe in that legacy, the heritage, that idea of always refining.
Going to Weissach is, to some extent, the Holy Grail. It's a unique opportunity. Wow, wow, wow. Where to start? This place is just full of history. There is always that very first car and that very last car of a series. Here we have the very first electric one. I think it's a very important milestone. Incredible. Just such a unique trip. Weissach is located near Stuttgart, in a small neighborhood. The chance to not only experience but also discuss with the designer is such a stimulating moment.
So, Mark, here it is. The new Macan. First of all, proportions. Keep the character of the car, but still visualize very clearly that this is not a combustion engine anymore.
The pitch of the roof is flatter than...
Exactly. We are really focusing on our light signature. So if you stand in front of the car, it should have this expression of being very focused.
Most of everything has a very specific function, and his aesthetic is driven out of that.
Exactly. It's not really styling, it's really design and the close connection to function.
So Michael, I'm still looking for an element of the car that is both, functional, and yet you can stare at it and start to have different degree of that definition you talk about onto the surface.
I mean, there's one part, let's say, little detail on the side, a kind of new surface. I could show you. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
We like this pattern, but for you, from the architectural point of view, it has to make sense for the structure as well.
So it has a little functionality in terms of three-dimensionality. It had a bit of stiffness if you go into the surface. And for us, it's the same. We're looking into something, that kind of cocoon.
We always want to have this kind of tension.
Tension, yet continuity
Exactly.
into the surface.
Convex, concave.
Yeah, when you mentioned those shift of curvature, those lines go from flat to curve to crease, we actually need it as well.
You create then the stability
Yes,
you need.
yes, that's what allows us to go so large, big, and yet remain the thickness of a sheet of metal.
The things I have shown you and this pattern and structure, you think that's something you can work with?
We love that aspect that it's both, functional on one end, gives stiffness, it reacts to light, so it's always different, it's entertaining. So I think it's an excellent start. There is a lot of exchange happening right now. Is that winning to that base plate? We always test if he works as a set of parts. The mission is to create a two-car garage. On one end, be purely experiential, purely enjoying the moment. And on the same time, there is that engineering aspect, that ultra-fine. How is it possible?
Those key design factors that Porsche always talks about, and a lot of those are what we look at in our own work as well, especially like surface tension.
The surface is everything. It's your experience, it's your structure, it's your finish. It's really focus. The same way experiencing a Porsche is about driving focus. Everything is there for a reason. Everything which is needed drives the aesthetic.
Yeah, and that's as well in the tradition of the German design philosophy, Bauhaus.
Yeah.
It's not really styling, it's really design and the close connection to function.
Tension for us is as much as a structural necessity as a visual expression. We knew we wanted to use minimum amount of surface and generate the largest volume as possible. And the second element, which was in parallel, we wanted to have a very intense background for the car, something very stimulating. What you can see here is what is inspired by the car itself. We started by those triangles who morph into those chevrons, the same way the light would travel onto that trim. What was important for us is that the collaboration was not to mimic the car itself. It was more an attempt to actually take the philosophy behind the design of the car and bring it into the world of creating space. So what you can see here is basically the second prototype we did for the structure. What we're trying to test here is, can we produce a dome which is curved into two directions out of linear elements of aluminum, very thin, without having to fold at every step.
We've been incorporating some of the motifs from Porsche's side, and I think there's a beautiful dialogue that's happening.
I really wanted to create a place where ideas will be born. But we also knew Singapore has very strong wind loads in January.
With the wind, aerodynamics is as well as something you have to keep in mind.
In our case, we design every single part that compose the structure.
You have a structure, you have a pattern, and it's bended in 2 or 3 dimensions. You have to take as well into consideration that then the pattern is changing.
So we have about 6,470 elements that compose the entire structure. It's like a 3D puzzle. We need to figure out a quick way for them to be assembled together and later on disassembled. The purpose of our structure for the launch is really to create an experience and inspire people into creativity, so that you come out of that, have a unique moment, a unique experience, and it stimulates you for whatever is next for you. That very first moment where you see it for the first time, what can we do to make that moment memorable?
Thank you very much. Thank you.